I'm going to start by recognizing Carlos Phillips and John McDonough, Greenville City Manager and the head of the Chamber of Commerce. We're so excited to be here today for this very important announcement. About 3 years ago, I got a memorable letter in the mail. I just have to share this with you because, first of all, I don't get a lot of letters in the mail anymore. I used to get, none of us do really anymore, but I don't get many either. To make it even more remarkable, it was a handwritten letter by a millennial. And I remember opening up thinking, seriously, this is unheard of. This young man who lived in Western North Carolina originally wanted to express himself to the mayor, I guess. And he said in the letter that he had moved to Greenville, South Carolina, knowing no one, started working at a pizza restaurant. And he was excited to say now that he's now working for a real estate firm, making money he's never thought he'd see in his life. And he wrote in his handwriting, in all caps, "Greenville is my opportunity city." And then he went on to say, "I'm one of those that when I drive across the Church Street Bridge and I see the cranes in the sky, I say that to myself, Greenville is my opportunity city." Exclamation point, exclamation point. And I just thought that was amazing. I did reach out to meet him, and he's still in our community, by the way. But that's what we want to hear. We want people of that age in particular to see this as their opportunity city. Everyone. And that's something we always will struggle with at some levels, but we have to do that. Opportunity city for everyone. Well, that's very much what this program is about. Within the tradition of public-private partnerships, the next program is getting ready to go to a new level with new initiatives. And so many people in this room have made it possible with the creation of this fund. But thank you for being a part of that. It's so incredibly important. And again, it's within a tradition that's very deeply felt, deeply founded in Greenville, public-private partnerships. But the whole idea of a startup community, Startup Greenville, which you're going to hear a lot about today, right, Scott? Startup Greenville, the very concept of that idea, this is a place to, from here you can change the world, but here in Greenville you start up. You start from the beginning and you reach new heights, you create new businesses and innovation and entrepreneurship. That should be our core philosophy, indeed, what we're all about. And just remember, beyond all the rhetoric, beyond the programs and everything, it all goes back to people like that young man who wrote me, how they perceive, where am I going to take my idea, where I want to live my life. We want them to come to Greenville, South Carolina. Now I'd like to introduce someone you all know, Scott Millwood. He just recently sold another business to Hitachi in this case. Congratulations, Scott. Give him a hand of applause for that. I know he was excited. I ran into Scott not knowing that he had just done this at the Greenville Car Wash, where he began to tell me what he had just done that week. And I had no idea, of course. And I guess he felt good enough to go to a car wash and not wash it himself. He had a pretty high limit, I guess, in that sense. But he did. Scott has been a big part of Next for a long time and working with so many of you. And the great thing about Scott, and I have to say, looking around this room with many of you being examples, this spirit of mentorship, of reaching out to help younger people and help everyone really following his footsteps has just been tremendous. And he's touched so many lives, as many of you have. And that, again, is what makes it special. This program is so very special. With that, Scott Millwood for the big announcements. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome on this rainy day. We'll have to make our own sunshine. I am just delighted and excited to be able to make some announcements this morning. Thank you for that kind words. Much appreciated. I come from the Data Stream tribe and have been here since '95. Have started a couple of businesses. Good fortune to exit those over the course of time. Got involved with Next back in the early days with John Moore. John, I saw you here, one of our founders. There you go. With standing beside him, Ken, and probably other founders of Next back in the day. That what we're talking about today is an extension of that. So before I get rolling on that, tell you a little bit about a little story of how we got here. I think it'll help kind of illustrate why we're doing what we're doing. So this past summer, Shay Hauser, where's Shay? Shay Hauser, ladies and gentlemen, one of Greenville's finest entrepreneurs, 7 businesses that have started, grown, exited, many of which you know, Green Cloud recently, U-Turn recently, Nuvox, Windstream, the list goes on. Shay and I were chatting a little bit about Greenville and tech ecosystem and startups and things that are happening here. And he's asking, well, you're exiting, I'm exiting, what are you going to do next? I'm like, whew, man, I don't know if I've got another one of these things in me. They take a lot out of you. So we started kind of comparing notes a little bit. Like, well, let's go talk to a few founders and entrepreneurs and see what they're up to. It's like, I've done some angel investing. I've done some of that. A lot of mentoring work, as Knox mentioned. And we set about having some discussions. And we started to see really a gap, a pattern among the founders and the entrepreneurs in Greenville. And the pattern is this, y'all. There's a gap. It's a very recognizable gap. And the gap is that we have a lot of folks who want to get started, and they get to this place where they've got a product built, maybe they've got a customer or two, and they look around and they go, well, I probably need some capital to infuse this thing and take it to the next level. And reality is, having done it multiple times, yes, you need capital, but you also need community support. You need talent, you need people, you need resources to help you guide along the way. And a lot of times that capital is very hard to get, but the talent to help you get to the next level is also really hard to get. So Shay and I started calling these things tweeners. And we started kind of circulating that word, and we talked to John McDonough and Carlos and our board, and where's Eric Weissman, our executive director at Next. And we started building that into the strategy of Next. Now, for many of you that maybe don't know much about Next, it is an entrepreneurial support organization whose mission is to grow the ecosystem, help founders succeed, and then measure the impact of that. So part of that mission is, well, how do we help those founders get to the next level, right? So as we're talking about this gap, it's like pretty obvious. We don't have enough fast-growing businesses in Greenville. And good entrepreneurs we are. We couldn't leave it alone. It's a problem. How do we solve it? What are we going to do to get after this thing? And that's really kind of what we came up with is, today we're announcing the Next Founders Fund, and it is a $6 million fund that is fully subscribed by limited partners. It is Greenville founders investing in Greenville founders, the next generation. So that is what we got going on. It is. It's pretty exciting, y'all, and I'm gonna put my glasses on here because I wanna just tell you a little bit about who this is and how this came about. It's an impressive group of people. So I'm not going to tell you names. A lot of folks are in the room, some of which you'll know, but let me just describe to you who's in this fund backing the next generation. It's nearly 40 partners. The founder and CEO of a SaaS company, 70% market share in the automation of methadone clinics, exited to a private equity firm a couple of years ago, been a part of Next for 10 years. The founder CEO of a large tech consulting firm that recently exited to Accenture. The founder CEO of a telecom company and 2 payroll processing companies. The founder and CEO of an HR recruiting company and 2 payroll processing companies. Founder and CEO of one of the largest financial services companies in the country, based right here. CEO and South Carolina Business Hall of Fame member who exited to a private equity firm in the last few years. Founder, CEO of one of the most successful social impact organizations in Greenville that helps women break the cycle of the sex trade. Founders of a real estate company providing affordable housing in Greenville. Founders of one of the most successful mobile app companies in the country, also longtime Next members. Founder, CEO, and Next founder and past board chair who leads one of the most successful software development companies in the region. And y'all, the list goes on and on. This is belief in the growth mindset of entrepreneurship and the belief that from here, you can do it all. You can do it from here. Now, I'm not the star of the moment by any stretch. The LPs are going to help in this process, but they are not the stars of the moment. The stars of the moment are the next generation of founders. And with that, I am proud to introduce to you, not just that we're raising money with a $6 million fund, that we're already busy investing that in one of Greenville's sharpest. And I'm going to just introduce that with a short video, and then I'm going to have Michael Middleton the CEO and founder of Safe Helipad, come to the podium and share a few words about his experience. So there's a lot of thank yous all the way around on this thing. We couldn't have gotten here in 90 days of fundraising without a lot of building blocks. You all know who you are. Our board members, our LPs, our ecosystem supporters. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's roll it.
A lot of people look at this helipad and all they see is one big square place to land a helicopter. What I see is an integrated set of systems that are all built towards keeping that aircraft, passengers, and that aircrew safe. My name is Michael Middleton, founder and CEO of Safe Helipad Software Systems in Greenville, South Carolina. And was commissioned as an officer and then went to flight school and ended up flying helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft in the Marine Corps for about 20 years. A lot of this came from my time in the military and doing aviation mission planning. And I did that both at the battalion level, squadron level of the Marine Corps, all the way up to flying for President Obama at HMX-1, which is the Marine Helicopter Squadron run, supporting the President and Vice President of the United States. Safe Helipad was inspired from my time in the Marine Corps, flying helicopters. There's so many instances where the proper information was not gathered and disseminated to the right people at the right time, which caused risk or dangerous situations. And what I found is there was no technology being applied to that space, whereas you could go to an airport anywhere in the world and you know everything that's going on with that runway. Are lights working? Has it been inspected? Is the pavement properly set up? Whereas helipads, landing zones, heliports all over the world, there's very little technology and knowledge being applied. So we really wanted to standardize, centralize into a data platform, and also be able to disseminate that information and make sure that it's verified and correct. Everything from the lighting, to the drainage, to the painting, even to the anti-skid. You'd be amazed. So many injuries are caused just because of slip and fall accidents and just because no one's monitoring it. So that's what we're trying to do through our software systems, to mitigate those risks and make those the safest places in the world. And when I look around, and we went through the phase of trying to find both investment, technical expertise from the software development side, business acumen, and also the people to help grow a company. A lot of people are telling us, hey, maybe you need to go look far afield. Maybe you need to go to the West Coast. Maybe you need to go to some of these other places. But what I found is I don't need to go anywhere. It's all right here in Greenville. You can come here to Greenville with a great idea and find the right people to support you and grow that business. You know, as a veteran, I think that's been very important. And both from a veteran and Hispanic community standpoint, I've just gotten a lot of support for our business and what we're trying to do here.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Michael Middleton, CEO of Safe Helipad. I definitely want to thank Byron. Y'all did a lot of magic on that video, so I appreciate it. I also want to make sure that I get out there that we had nothing to do with the NOTAM system in the United States falling apart this week. So, but I did think that was very interesting, obviously leading up to today's announcement. Whether you know it or not, there's a lot of technology being touching aviation. It touches all of our lives, and we saw a great example of that this week with the NOTAM system with the FAA that I relied on all of my years in aviation and still do when I do private aviation and flying right now. So I thought that was a great showcase and something to mention and bring up right now that, you know, in the aviation fixed wing world, airports, commercial aviation like that for passengers and cargo, there's a lot of technology. With I call it below 500 feet, vertical takeoff and landing, there's not. It's kind of Wild West rules and cowboy rules out there. And for too long, we were relying on, hey, I'm a good pilot, you're a good pilot, slap each other on the back and let's go flying. Well, I don't think that cuts it, which it shouldn't cut it. And we never allowed that to cut it when we were flying with the Marine Corps, flying the President of the United States. So that's what Safe Helipad is about. Getting to this point has been an interesting road and struggle, and also a lot of great benefits and moments. Moving my family back here after moving away a long time ago after I graduated from Clemson University, we came back 9 years ago and settled my family here. Like, hey, what am I going to do? And well, I got the brainchild to do some consulting with my partner, and we started Safe Helipad, which directly led to this software system. And we got some traction. And then at some point, about a year ago, meeting Eric Weissman here at Next, And so folks like John McDonough and the mayor and the folks and just the environment here in Greenville are like, well, you need to do something with this company. So what do? I probably did the worst thing. I went traveling all over the country, talking to people, looking for money, looking for advice, all to find myself right back here in Greenville and finding the right people with the right amount of advice, the right amount of funding that we needed to take this company to the next level. So big kudos to Scott and Shay and the group and what you've done here with the Next Founders Fund. I really appreciate it. And I do want to say something. I think going to get money anywhere is hard, but there's a lot of money out there. What I found here with Scott and Shay, and I can't sing their praises enough, is they said, hey, we can get you funding, but we're going to be hands-on. We're going to help you grow your business. We're going to help you be a better CEO. We're going to help you grow your team. And that was invaluable because it's not money I need. It's people like these folks who understand how to grow a business and do it the right way, bring on the right people, get more jobs here in Greenville, and grow more economic activity in Greenville. So I really appreciate that. I mean, the quality, the caliber, and just the grace of people here in Greenville has just been phenomenal. And obviously, having grown up here, graduated from Greenville High, coming back and finding that, I'm like, man, how did Greenville just get so much better in the time I was gone away in the Marine Corps? So thank you so much. Thank you to the city. Thank you to Next. And just thank y'all for being here. So I think I'm supposed to kick it to the mayor now, unless he's bolted on us.